On March 29th, I said, what say you Bitcoin maxi pats? Illustrating this chart right here when Bitcoin was back up near $48,000 to $50,000. And I said, hey guys, watch out because we're heading under 40K in the next couple weeks. What happened in the next couple weeks? We just hit a low of 38.5 just yesterday. I'm not psychic. I'm just pretty good at reading palms, okay? But the big question now is it now time to start buying the dip for a potential short-term bullish reversal to capitalize on that? Let's take a look and see what we got going on in some of the current plays. If you are looking for the next 100x crypto project to buy into, you have come to the right place. My name is Cameron Foose, and I have been a professional day trader for nearly 20 years. I deposited $20,000 into an account, and in just over a year, it's now worth nearly $2 million. On this channel, I'm going to present to you the best altcoins to buy, such as getting into Mana before it ripped 595%, getting into Dogecoin before it ran 15,000%. So if you want to hear about all the best trade opportunities first, hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on the notifications bell so you can get these time-sensitive trade ideas immediately when my new videos go live. All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Again, this is not financial advice, just some palm reading, okay? We're doing some palm reading today. Palm reading is not a scam, and it works every time, so that's what we're gonna do today. Let's check out some things about how to predict the market via palm reading. Let's get right into it, guys. Again, what was I looking at prior to this actually happening? If we go to replay here, we were back over here prior to Bitcoin actually making that reversal. We were looking at this basically ascending channel, which is actually a bear flag within the now bearish trend of Bitcoin. And we spiked right into this level, which is also, we can draw this horizontal resistance level up here as well. In this range, we had this zone right about here, which could have led to up here. If you saw that previous chart that I had that I posted on Twitter, I was also very cautious of us pushing up to this next zone up here at about 52K. So my range for entering short was basically between about 47.5 upwards of about 52K, where I would stop out up around 53K. But that was my range for getting short, and I was hoping to see us pull all the way back into this zone under 40K, and my ideal target was about 37.5. Unfortunately, as we just noticed and saw, we only pulled back to about 38.5, so I missed my buying opportunity, and I didn't get to cover my shorts exactly where I wanted to, and we'll see how that actually played out going from here as we can witness Bitcoin coming back down into that range and retesting, right? We can draw this line here for the ascending trend, but the actual trend that would be a little bit more ideal based on the lows is down here. But this is actually a little bit more, if we look at like a line chart, you can see this is actually kind of the closing prices where we actually held up, right? Which is almost like a different strategy that you can use. When you're looking at candlesticks, there's a lot of different volatility in candles that can make these highs and lows, but it's a little bit different view based on candlesticks, right? You can see these lows by these extended wicks. This is basically just extreme volatility and panic that's settling in. As that happens, the true closing price is kind of like, okay, where did the price action settle on that day? And you can do that simply by using a line chart, and then I'll give you a little bit more clear picture about where the true price at the end of the day was, which you can see if we draw this line here, we can actually see that Bitcoin did in fact bounce kind of perfectly off this range, where this could potentially be the lower end of this channel, where we might actually see some buying pressure and a potential reversal off this level to actually buy the dip on for Bitcoin. But again, looking at the daily chart here with the actual candles, I was looking more so for about 37.5 to 38 to cover my shorts in, and I was actually short overnight last night. Everything was looking good when we were down here, but I woke up this morning, Asia time, to see a massive reversal of this bear flag that actually broke down, which is now a potential small bear trap on this. Again, if we look at the actual closing price on the line chart, it's actually bouncing perfectly in this range. But if we close below this, we're probably going to head back down towards 38K. But just looking at today's candle on the daily chart here, this is actually a very bullish candle. Bear trap breaking down this flag lows, failed. Now this huge engulfing bullish candle, and now we're actually looking like a potential bounce off the support level. In favor of the bears still, we are currently still below the daily trend X indicator, okay, of which hasn't been the most reliable, because right now we're in a ranging choppy market, right? If you look at the daily trend X indicator, when we're trending, it's a pretty good indication of whether we're bull or bear for the short term, and whether you should have bearish sentiment and shorting stocks or shorting crypto, or have a bullish sentiment and we're in a bull trend and buying crypto, right? So we are bull, bear, bear, bull, bear, bull, bear, bull, bear, right? So right now we are in this kind of a channel where we're in a sideways market where that indicator isn't the most reliable. It's more so just trying to draw a channel and trade within this range that's actually happening. If we look at the weekly chart here though, this is an even longer term indication of whether we're bull or bear. We were in a very, very long bull market here on the weekly chart, and we flipped bear between basically May and July, flipped bull again, then flipped bear, and then it looked like we were potentially going bull again right here, but it only lasted 2 weeks, had a very strong candle, and now for the last 2 weeks in a row, we are now back in bear mode across the board. You can see we're also below the 50-day moving average on the weekly chart, and we are now also continuing to hold for now the potential third week in a row. Obviously, it's only Tuesday, so we still have another week of price action to see if we actually stay below this trend X indicator. And basically how I operate when I'm trading is I look at the long-term trend, say the weekly chart trend, and as long as we're in a bullish trend on the weekly chart with trend X, I can be pretty confident in either buying the dip or buying breakouts because we're in a bullish trend, and there's a lot more probability of a continuation in the trend for buying breakouts and buying the dips. Brief interruption from today's sponsor, which is none other than CoinStats.app, where you can manage your crypto and DeFi portfolio from one place, which is actually an extremely useful tool because I myself have multiple brokers that are on centralized exchanges as well as wallets on TerraStation. I have wallets on MetaMask. It's hard to keep track of all your money and your performance with it all over the place. With CoinStats, you can then connect all these wallets to one centralized location and basically have a one-stop shop to actually track everything that you're doing across all your portfolios. So this is a very cool, safe and simple, all in one place, crypto tracking made easy. Kevin Rose said, my favorite is CoinStats app, monitors wallet addresses, pump alerts, etc. You also get alerts on your phone. If something starts pumping, it says, hey, XYZ is pumping 25% in the last 30 minutes. So it also gives you alerts. Let's look at what else they are offering. Access all your crypto from one screen, trade on all your exchange accounts from one platform. So now with the actual CoinStats app, you can connect the API of your broker such as Binance and actually make transactions on the CoinStats app or whatever other platform or centralized exchange you're using, all at CoinStats. You can also now buy with fiat on the actual CoinStats app because CoinStats also has their own private wallet. You can also easily track your P&L analytics and transaction details. They have over 1 million users, $100 billion total tracked with 500,000 exchange accounts connected. In fact, if you watch one of my most popular videos from 2021 where I turned 20K into 1.75 million, you can actually see me using the app of tracking my portfolios with CoinStats from 20K to 1.75 million on my YouTube channel. One last little Easter egg for you guys here on CoinStats. If you go to pricing and start your subscription, you can get 59% off by using the referral link below. Go ahead, check it out, hit the referral link. You can get 59% off discount. But anyways, guys, that's it for today's sponsor, CoinStats.app. Very cool platform. Go check it out. But when we're in a bearish weekly trend, it's a lot more difficult to see any sentiment, whether you're buying breakouts or buying the dips. The likelihood of those dips bouncing or the likelihood of your breakouts falling through is a lot less. Okay, the probabilities become less because we're in an overall bearish trend. And right now, it's a little bit scary to buy into breakouts and it's a bit scary to buy into dips with a long-term outlook because we are currently in a bearish trend. Right, we flipped bull briefly there for just 2 weeks, but overall we're below the 50-day moving average here on the weekly chart. We're below the shorter term scale of that on the trend X, and really overall all moving averages that most people look at are bearish now, other than the 200-day moving average, which is all the way down here at about 21,400. Okay, so there's a lot of room for us to pull back in the markets if this actual bear trend stays in play on the short term, but maybe retest a longer term trend indicator at the 200-day moving average on the weekly, but that's all the way down at about 20K, which also is consistent with the previous highs of Bitcoin. And that would be a significant area and a whole number where we would potentially retest and then find support and be a potential dip buying opportunity for Bitcoin. Overall, long-term in the next, 6 to 12 months, I'm bearish where I think we could then potentially pull back. But within that 6 to 12 months, as we've seen these massive ranges, as we saw in the last video that I posted when I said we're getting potentially short up here, prior to that, we created a bunch of long positions by just looking at the daily chart, buying in down here and riding this whole wave up. We locked in all our profits on the way up, did buy some more more stuff just in case the trend actually continued. Then I stopped out of everything, got short, and then again, I got short here just yesterday on Bitcoin, actually 2 days ago, prior to this bear flag breakdown. We're basically looking at this formation right here, okay, on Bitcoin, which is a bearish trend and now forming up a bear flag to potentially break down below that closing price range right here. Okay, see, if we broke down below this actual closing price trend here, that would send us towards the next levels of support based on the actual channel here that we can draw, right? And that's what I was looking for, was a bear flag breakdown down to about 36.90, 37.5 for me to lock in my profits. Unfortunately, when we play this, we can see this just instantly broke down, created a bear trap. Everyone bought up this dip on the below here. And now looking back at the line chart here, we're staying consistent with closing prices staying above this trend line, which now potentially tells me that we're in for a potential bounce. I don't really know if that's going to happen. We're still bearish on the daily chart of Trendex. We haven't flipped back above this, so there isn't really solid confirmation of a short-term trend reversal right now. Typically, when you retest this Trendex indicator, there's going to be more selling and potentially a continuation of a bear trap or bear flag breakdown again, and potentially breaking down this line here, which then would send us down to about 36 to 38,000 on Bitcoin, which is where I wanted to cover my shorts. I got short Illuvium right here. I was looking for my profit targets between 487 to 466. I did not get that, but that's not to say we still can't get down there, but I stopped out for profits before they could turn into a loss. I was also short on sand, hopefully looking for a breakdown here. Back down, my profit targets were 233 to about 206. I was also short audio, getting in short between 137 to 141. Profit targets were 118 to 108. And all these still look like potential shorts. Obviously, the volatility is hectic in Bitcoin and everything we got a massive short squeeze off that, which is now a bear trap and a potential reversal off this daily level of this line chart, right? So as of right now, it's hard to say if this is going to hold, because I do see the potential for us to continually reverse here, especially if we hold below the Trendex. We're also still below the 50-day moving average on the daily chart as well. So there's a lot of resistance between, here 40,900, which is where we're about now, and about 42,248, and also this resistance area at about 42.5. So like this whole range right here between the Trendex, horizontal resistance, the 50-day moving average, this is a strong barrier for Bitcoin to break down through, which I still think could potentially be a short area for us to get into and then potentially come down and retest the lower boundary of this actual channel. So as of right now, I'm all cash. I stopped out of all my short positions just based on this 1-day candle right there, because it kind of gave conflicting interests, the patterns that I was looking to get into. And as I said yesterday in the chat, after I was short, adding short to audio, getting short sand and ILV, I said all stops moved into break even or just over break even profit on shorts. No losing, fam. We're always flat or forward. Okay, so pretty much anytime I'm in the money on my positions, we're looking at a position where it could potentially go into a losing after I'm already up, right? I was up about $6,000 when Bitcoin is at about 38.6 on those three positions. Unfortunately, I stopped out for maybe $900 in profit, but I moved all my stops just slightly over break even. So I'm still making money if they actually come back up. And then I can reevaluate if I want to re-enter those positions, but I don't allow myself to lose anything on those positions. I can always stop out for small profit. If it then rises back up, back into a shorting position, I can always reevaluate and go into again. But I'm not going to allow myself to lose money based on some crazy volatility of a 1-day candle that's happening on Bitcoin. And now, again, on the daily chart here, we might be retesting this channel where we can actually reverse back above Trendex and then come back up. If it did retest the upper range of this channel, that would be at about 49.7 to 50,000. That's a potential scenario here. If Bitcoin continues to trade in this channel here, where we could come back up and rally towards 48.9 to 50,000, potentially upwards of, 52,000, which would be the previous closing high, but also the candle highs of that range is about 52.5. So that could definitely be in play if we do reverse off this level. The other big factor here, guys, that is a key indicator of where Bitcoin might be going is understanding and following the US 30, of which I'm actually short right now. I've been short since over 35K on the US 30. And you can see here, we're now in this descending channel on US 30 and now flagging here within this new bearish trend on the daily chart. You can see the 200-day moving average here came back up, broke it down, came back above again, broke it down, failed to hold above the 200-day moving average, and now it's teetering at this level again. So, right, if we get back over the 200-day moving average, which is about 35K on US 30, that could potentially break this channel to the upside, and that might be an indication of, okay, maybe the bulls are back. We might be running up and seeing new highs. And Bitcoin will not make a massive run unless US 30 does that. Don't think US 30 is going to do that. I could be wrong. Obviously, if it goes back above 35K, I'm going to stop out of my shorts because I'm not an idiot. I manage risk and I get out of that position. But for me, I think the higher probability trade here is US 30 rolling off this resistance zone of this channel, coming back down into 31,000 area to potentially 31 to 30,000 to retest the lower area of this channel. So that's kind of what I am placing my bets on. I'm watching US 30 to kind of gauge the market here, and I'm short currently. Hopefully it doesn't break out above 35, because that would mean I stop out of my positions and I am false on this narrative, of which then Bitcoin will probably bounce off this area and continue to rise up. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm also looking at other potential dip buy opportunities. Unfortunately, my bias is a little fucked up here now because I wanted to see that one last spike on this potential move here into 37.5, and that was where I was going to start buying the dip on some of these plays, such as, even like sand. I wouldn't mind buying sand where I was looking to cover down near $2 per share. We're breaking down of this descending triangle pattern. Want to see a washout back into this zone here, about $2 per share or coin. That would be a much better dip buying opportunity to get into, and I would be a lot more comfortable buying in for that right now. But if you want to get updates on what things I'm actually going to be buying the dip on, you're going to need to get inside of the Wolf Alerts Telegram group, where I'm alerting my buys and sells, profit targets, stop losses for both long and short positions based on whatever is happening in the market. I'm also giving daily live commentary of what I think Bitcoin going to do, what I think US 30 is going to do, which is also a huge indicator of where the entire market's going to go, because usually Bitcoin kind of follows what's actually happening with US 30. But anyways, guys, that's a wrap for today's video. We called the top there on Bitcoin to get short, get out of your longs, and then Bitcoin proceeded to absolutely crush everyone's dreams, dropping 20% in the last 2 weeks. So now we're in the potential area to potentially buy a dip, but I still think we have potential to continually drop, especially if we hold below the 50-day moving average and trend X back down to about 37.5, where I'll be much more comfortable buying the dip. And if you want to see what ones I'm actually going to be buying, join the Telegram group. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.